Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Chris, this is Salty Trips channel, and today we're going to talk about RV camp water. Should you drink it? Shouldn't you drink it? And all the other things that you may not have thought about that involves your RV and the water that comes from the spigot. So we're going to go over those kind of things and give you our input and get to it. Alright guys, should you or shouldn't you drink RV camp water? That's what we're going to kind of talk about, and there's a few other things we're going to touch on too, that some negative effects of RV camp water, but there's basically two types of camp water you're going to get. You're either going to get, city water that's provided, like, the same kind of water that you get out of the spigot at your house, or you're going to get well water. And the only way you're going to know which one you're getting is if you ask. When you call to book or whatever, or you show up, just ask what they have, and that'll kind of help you determine how you're going to deal with the situation. Because if you're new to RVing or thinking about RVing, this is something we were going to talk about, touch on a few things that maybe you probably haven't thought about, and you may want to consider before you get going. We've been at this for full time for a couple months now, and we've learned quite a bit in a short period of time. So we're going to kind of go over that stuff. We're going to go over what we decided to use, and we don't drink the RV camp water. So we have a system set up. It's not a filtration system, but it's a pretty cool system. So we'll go check that out. All right, guys, before we get going and showing you what we use to drink for our drinking water in that system, we're going to talk about the shower real quick. Things you may not have considered. My wife found out rather quickly that the well water does havoc on the glass in our shower. So she started off at the last place we were at using like some CLR to clean it off with, and it did pretty good. And then we got to a new campsite, and it's different well water, treated differently, and that wasn't working. So she got some of these like Mr. Clean Oxy pads or whatever, and they seem to be doing pretty good. And she has to clean these off like about every other day or so, maybe every 2 or 3 days. So that's something you got to consider with that hard water and stuff. It's going to stain easier and stuff like that. And she also had to change, going from one campsite to another, her shampoo. So if you hear things, are concerned or whatever, you're going to have to think about that. Maybe have a couple of options. So if you go from one site to another where the water may be a little rougher than you would like, you may want to think about having a couple different options for cleaning and a couple different options for shampoo. But all right, now we're going to head over into the kitchen and talk about drinking water. All right, guys, so we don't drink the RV camp water. So what do? You have a couple of choices. Either you can get bottled water, you can get a fancy filtration system, or you can get 5-gallon jugs and tote them in here, and that's where you're going to get your water from. Those are pretty much your basics. If there's other options out there, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. But what we decided to go with was the 5-gallon jugs. We didn't want to have a big dispenser in here, so what we did was, in a previous video we showed you about like all the gadgets and stuff we've kind of learned to that's made RV life easier, is we've got this little pump that you put on top of a 5-gallon jug, and it dispenses water, which was kind of handy, and we really like it. It's rechargeable, and it lasts for a while. But we had the jug underneath the sink here, and we were having to open it up and bend over and hold the jug there while we filled, for like ice or whatever, and the water. It was a little bit of a pain. So I'm like, man, I would really be nice if there was something on the countertop that was like a similar system that we could put on top of here, and it would dispense water. So we got on Amazon, and lo and behold, we found something. All right, we found this little water pump dispenser, and this one can actually go on top of your jug, or you can set it on a counter, and it's got a hose that'll pump from the jug. So I'll show you how we have that set up. We actually wound up just drilling a hole right up in here, and the reason I did that, like we had two options. Either we could run it around and drill a hole in the side, or you can actually drill a hole in your countertop and set it down and have it go straight through so you don't see any hoses or anything like that. But we didn't know if we were going to like this or not, so it was a lot easier to repair, fill wood hole and put a little paint over it and make that disappear than trying to fix a countertop and putting a hole in it. So eventually we may wind up putting a hole in the countertop and putting this here, but we wanted to make sure we liked this product first before we started drilling into our countertop or anything. But so far, this thing has been pretty fantastic, and we've got that hose running there, and it goes through there and right into the jug, so that we just press the button and it dispenses water. Just hit the button again to stop it. And it's got a couple of cool little options on it, so we'll show you that real quick. So it has 3 different settings for filling. It's got 10 ounces, 20 ounces, and 40 ounces. And if you light up all 3, and you press the start button, it'll go until you stop again. So it'll just empty the whole tank. But if you just put it on 10 ounces, you start it and it'll go. And then once it gets to 10 ounces, it'll automatically cut off. And it should cut off here in just a moment, just like that. So that's pretty handy, especially if you're like cooking or something. You can put like a pot under there and start filling it, and you don't have to worry about it overfilling or wasting water and stuff like that. So, and it's pretty handy, and you can put like the ice trays under there to fill it. Speaking of ice trays, we have another thing, a bonus footage we're going to give you about an ice machine we bought, which is pretty handy. So we'll show you that in just a second. But as you can see, it doesn't take up hardly any counter space, and it has USB charging, USB-C, and we have an outlet right here, so we can actually just plug and put a cable right here, and you can just leave it plugged in all the time if you want to, and so you don't have to move it anywhere to charge it. You can just leave it in place, which is pretty handy, because the other one we used to have to, this one here, we'd have to take off the bottle and set it over and plug it and charge it. So this one, we don't have to do that. We can just bring the plug to it and just leave it there and charge it, so we don't have to be without water at any given time. We have that 1 5-gallon jug, but we have more. And I'm actually thinking about expanding this whole thing, and I'll show you why, and we'll have to go outside for that. So actually, we started out with 1 5-gallon jug, and then we bumped it up to 3. This one's empty right now, and that pump actually came with 3 of these little silicone caps that you can put on them, and this is a brand new one. And if you want to get one of these, you can just kind of go to Home Depot or something like that, and they have those for sale, and I think they're only like I think they're like $15 or $16 for the jug itself. If you try to buy these jugs on Amazon, they're going to charge you like $30 or something like that. Just go to Home Depot and you get them there. And what we do is we just take them to either Publix or Winn-Dixie or something like that. And they have purified filling stations. They have them all over the place. I'm sure you've seen them throughout your travels and stuff. They're all over the place. And I wait till 2 of these are empty, and then I take them in and I fill them up when we're out and about anyway. But what I'm even thinking about doing and taking it a step further is I've seen people do tests on this pump, and it can draw pretty far. I'm actually thinking about running a hose underneath and coming out into this section and just putting all my bottles out here and just tap into it right here. And that way I can just swap from one to another as we go, and we won't even have to bring the water inside. We haven't done that yet, but I'm thinking about it, and I thought that would be kind of cool. So if you're thinking about it too, and you don't have like the space like we do inside the cabinet, that may be a good option. Maybe it'll store your storage compartment there and run a wire to it, or you can just set it aside somewhere. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I think everybody's got to make this kind of decisions for themselves whether or not they should be drinking RV water. We decided, right off the bat, RV water, well, like RV camp water, was just not for us. Um, we shower with it and do laundry with it. That's about it. Uh, Everything else we come from our bottles here. You can also buy like some filtration systems, but some of those are expensive, and from what I understand, like some of them don't even work that well. Some of them work great. Um, I'm just a little wary about it, but maybe in the future we might get some kind of filtration system. But so far, this is working great for us. It only costs you like $2.50 to fill one of these things. So, and we're probably going through maybe at least about 2 a week. So $5 a week, $20 a month for water. And it's purified, it's clean, you don't have to change out any filters, you just have to recharge the pump every once in a while, and that's it, folks. And it's pretty simple. So I hope some of those tips and tricks were helpful to you. But another thing we're going to talk about real quick is our ice machine. All right, guys, so our ice machine, we just bought this thing. I'm not even sure what the brand is, but we got it on Amazon. I'll leave a link for it in the description area below. But so far, this thing is working great. You just fill up this little basin with water, and it pumps out ice like nobody's business. I made some ice this morning. It only took about two or 3 hours, and we filled up almost this whole bin with ice. Of course, we're not going to drink the water, so we're not going to put RV camp water, make ice with it either. But this thing is working great. You fill it up, it automatically will stop once this thing gets full, and we just chuck it over there, and it'll let you know if you need add more water. So we just take a cup and fill it up, and it'll just keep chucking ice out until it fills up. So we'll leave a link for this pump and this other pump in case which is working great too. It was just a little more convenient to have the countertop pump. So we'll leave that in the description area below in case you're thinking about getting it. And if you want to follow us, we have a lot of RV, trucks, travel, full-time living, all that jazz. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that fancy mess, and give this video a big thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Hope this guide helped you out a little bit and gave you something to think about if you're thinking about RVing or already doing it, and may help you out. So here it is. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you guys next week.